it's Tanya from Tanya Arts here. I thought I would just go through like my art supplies that I take with me when I go away. So I recently went interstate for a week and I took this bag. So I actually picked this up from Coles. It was a toiletries gift pack, and I got it for the bag instead of the contents of the toiletries. It was only $20, but it's just a really nice size to fit you know, a few amount of supplies with a zipper. Okay, so I'll go through, I'll take them all out first, and then I'll go through what I took with me. Alright, so I took a little 3.5" by 5" art journal. I'll just zoom in a little bit there. So I thought this would be a nice size just for when I was there to pop into my handbag with a few other supplies for day trips. I also took a Diane Reevely art journal. I'm not sure what size that is. This is an A4 piece of paper size, so you can see the difference there. I think that must be about 5.5" by 8.5" this size. So it's not too bulky to fit into the bag. And this has a few of my whimsy girls that I've been creating, as well as some pre-prepared backgrounds with stencils and inks, as well as pages where I've just pressed the stencil on to use up the ink. Excuse me. Ready for creating on a later date. Yeah, so this is just, you know, only semi-used, and I've got a little stencil tucked in at the back with lots of pages free to work on while I'm away. And then I also took just a rip out, it's called a draw and wash pad. This is by Art Spectrum, and it's 210 GSM, so I can do some mixed media washes and wet media on it. And if I decided to create a piece that I wanted to sell later or gift, it was easy to take out of the pads. So I just had a few options there in addition to the journal. I also took this watercolour palette that I made up from some watercolour on card. So this is, I've actually got these from Jane Davenport, and I'll put a link to these. So the watercolour pigment is actually in the card, and you cut the cards up and create your own palette like this, and then adhere them onto, I've just put it onto slightly smaller than A3 watercolour paper, just so that it's a little bit thicker. You could just use cheap card probably for that, and then I've used some baking paper or deli paper just to stop the colours going onto the other side, and that's just really nice and thin to pop into the bag as well, and easily portable. And then I've also taken this moleskin with me, so again slightly smaller than A4 size, and it's only very thin paper, so it's not for mixed media, it's just purely for doing some sketching while I'm away. So that's the main sort of paper that I took with me, and I'd probably thin that down if I was only going on a weekend trip. I do like to be prepared, so I probably took more than I really needed to. So I've just got this really cute zippered bag that fitted in most of my pens, and I'll go through what I took. Again, I was overly cautious and made sure that I didn't go away with missing anything. So in it I've got my favourite white art pen, my favourite black art pen. I've got a Posca, a uni Posca pen in black and also in white. I've taken my Stabilo All pencils in white and black somewhere. There. I've taken a variety of brushes with me. Just the shorter ones, just to fit into the pencil case. And I've also taken 2 different nib ends of water pens, which I love, love, love. And they're nice to use on the plane with the water already in there. I've taken several graphite pencils, ranging from 2B up to 7B. Also a couple of other art pens that are just laid down a bit thinner than the other one. A couple of blending stumps and a couple of various nibbed erasers for doing faces and rubbing out detail. A couple of micron pens, an emergency favourite black art pen and an emergency favourite white art pen, a couple of extra erasers, a couple of, I think I also doubled up because I had my boys with me, so you know, usually they'll want to be using whatever I'm using, and a mechanical graphite pencil, a Prismacolor black pencil, and then a couple of Tombow markers, which I love using, and my favourite colours, black Pick pen, and some of these that I've just started to really like using is a General Sketch and Wash, which is just a graphite water soluble pencil that works really nice in my journal with the water pens. And then I've got one of these that I also got from Jane Davenport. It's got card and pen written on it, but I know Jane calls it something else, and it's just it's got it like a fountain end, and is really nice for journal work as well. And then I've also got one of these screw-on lid containers that I've filled up with white gesso that you can just get from the pharmacy. And that's pretty secure, and it didn't leak on the flight there or back. So that's what's in my little favourite zippy bag. In addition, I took several, and you wouldn't need to take this many. I pretty much took all of mine, all my Pick pens, which are really lovely to use again in the journal, and activating them with water. Probably wasn't essential to take these, and when I've gone on a weekend trip I haven't taken those. I've maybe taken 1 or 2 of my favourite colours. And last few things I took, so I've just used an cotton bud container to protect my Neocolor 2 watercolour crayons, and made sure that I've got them in the primary colours of red, yellow and blue, but also I've kept coming back and sneaking in a few of my other favourite colours as well. So again, probably don't need to take that many, but I had to be sure to be sure. Okay, and just put a lucky band on it to secure the lids so they didn't fall out in transit. I've also put in 3 little mini Ranger distress ink pads, and I've got that in antique linen, walnut stain and vintage photo, and they just stack neatly together, and then I've just made sure the lids have stayed on with another lucky band. And then I've got also these little convenient sized what mil, they're 20 mil tubes of Jasonia acrylic paints, and again just in the primary colours of yellow, blue and red, and then a white as well. And again, probably wasn't essential for me to take those acrylic paints. I could have just taken a Neocolor 2 watercolour crayons and my art pens, but when you're away for long enough you do want to have some choice. So that's it for those ones, and I'll probably do another mini video to show sort of smaller trip art supplies that I would take. All right, thanks, see ya.